can't help but love Yuhon, man. I cannot help but love him. Hey everyone, I'm going to react to Akatsuki no Yona, chapter 195. And during the last few chapters, we were going through the backstory of Yongi, Yuhon, Yongi Yuhon, and Il, and Kashi, basically the parents of Suwon and Yuna's backstory, what happened, and the way the last chapter ended was Yuhon had learned about their father's illness and that he was about to die, so probably gonna go into how, when, why Jonam decided to give King Il the kingdom, I guess. So yeah. Before we get into this chapter, if you guys like my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and please consider supporting my Patreon at patreon.com/feeling And now let's start this chapter, and here we go. Okay, he probably heard the news. Eagle's gonna be the new king. Father, right now you're not in full use of your judgment due to the illness. We can continue this conversation. The next sovereign of this country is ill. This is the king of Skokas Tronam's last peremptory command. After all, the undefeated conqueror, Lord Yuhon, who enjoyed immense popularity, but the people had been expected to become an even greater king than His Majesty Tronam had been. Abubu. Ultimately, Lord Yuhon concluded they had never forgiven him for condemning the priest to death. It became very painful to him because he had tried to protect me. Lord Yuhon was not chosen. Lady Yoni, I think she got sick. Well, she's been sick. She just hasn't told Yuhon. Don't overexert yourself. Aww. Yona's earrings. She tell His Majesty Tronam of it, that she is the criminal dragon king. Although I did ordain that this fate won't change. But did you though? Then is my role already over? It was never my role to begin with. What do you want? Look at him over there. Judo. Man, I can't help but love Yuhon, man. I cannot help but love him. He was still pissed at the people for not, basically congratulating his brother for becoming the king. This is giving me such a different outlook on him. Ah. Don't feel depressed before he's even done anything yet. Here he's thinking, fighting and everything, and it is not about fighting and stuff. So I don't know what. Today was the first time I saw Kashi properly, and I don't understand what kind of woman she is at all. Yo, it just occurred to me. Kashi was supposed to have died in the fire with all the other priests and people. Yuhon doesn't know. Yonhi seems like he was about to tell him who Kashi really is. And Yona has been like, okay, did my mom really die from, you know, an attack from the outside world or something or other like that? Did Yuhon kill her after learning that she was alive? And, what the? I don't know. Ugh. Yuhon, I just finished praising you. Do not go ahead. Do not go kill her. Okay? If I may, Lord Yuhon. It's about Queen Kashi. The other she told Lady Yoni a most singular story. Oh, freaking frack. Why are you telling her that? The Princess Yona is the Crimson Dragon King and that is somehow connected to His Majesty ill being chosen by the king. Mr. Minsu. Book Yona's name was super interesting. That's Minsu? 7 years old. So basically someone is older than him, but he's calling him Mr. It took me 5 days. Mr. Kishuk. Wanna read it as well, Mr. Kishuk? This place has become lively, don't you agree? My apologies, even my son, Master, even my son Minsu is under your care. Oh, okay. So that's Minsu's mom. I'm reminded that today an illustrious guest is calling on your ladyship now. That's right, Queen Kashi is coming by. Is coming by invitation? Who invited her? Okay, I am. The visit of Kashi and Yona to our residence never happened. Did you? What the heck? So you hunt that before? Yoni? I don't believe that. He had left on a long ride and slipped off a cliff? Who are these people? Oh, okay. He went to inspect his father's corpse. This little boy. I knew it. I knew there was no way that he slipped off and whatever and fell. Did Il kill him? It would not surprise me if Il killed his brother. After I was done with my reaction, you guys could see I was tearing up, and then I decided, what, I'm just gonna go do something else, before I come back and talk about these chapters, because it was a lot. The reason why I started tearing up is because I feel like these two brothers, Il and Yuhon, loved each other, and the way both of them ended up, the fact that Il killed his brother, and then by the end there, while he was writing his answer to Yonhee, and he's like, when I have these doubts and when these things go through my mind, I find myself turning to my brother and listening to him and talking to him the way that I wished I would have talked to him when he was alive. That it broke my heart, because I remember I remember when he was telling Yonhee about Il's coronation and about how people were upset. They were not happy with it, and he was upset on his brother's behalf, and that he was going to do everything that he possibly can to support his brother to become a great king. And that's not what happened. When he was confronting his brother, at the edge of the cliff, and he asked him if he knew about Kashi being having survived the burning, and he said no. And he asked him if he killed Kashi, and he said no. And then he stabbed him. And then he's like, you forget I'm your brother, and I know you, and I know when you're lying. I guess a part of me was hoping that it wasn't true, that he didn't actually kill Kashi. Like, I was thinking maybe Il was mistaken and that he wasn't the one that killed her. But then, just as I was thinking that, I flashed back to when they were in the temple, and then he came in and Il asked him if he knew that Yoni was a blood relative of the Crimson Dragon King, and he said no. And he's like, you're lying. Like, I'm your brother, I know you're lying and everything. I'm like, it was probably true that he killed Kashi. And after during the last chapters, that moment where Kashi told Yoni that Il was probably happy because Yona was gonna be the Crimson Dragon King. And then in this episode, to learn that he actually loved her, he just didn't. Like, he's sad. that she died without actually knowing how much he cared about her, and that he was reading Yonhee's memoirs. That's what made him realize that he didn't actually show her how much he loved her. Ugh. I've said this plenty of times, like when I'm watching or reading something, like with the manga, me reading the manga and reacting to it, I feel like I should be reading the words out loud, because it's not like you have an audio, it's not like the same anime and that the audio will be speaking for me or anything. So it's that I feel like I have to read it out loud. But when it comes to a point where I really wanna absorb what I'm watching, what I'm reading, that's when I start being quiet, because I feel like me talking over, me trying to read it over, it doesn't really let me feel what I want to feel, or it doesn't really let me absorb everything that I'm reading. That's why for the last, I think it was the last two chapters, I was just here quiet reading everything, because it was giving me a whole lot of information about what happened in the past. And I was trying to see how everybody's mental state, like in the past and everything. So last chapter ended with Yuhon learning that Junam was sick and he was on his deathbed. And he started this chapter with basically Junam declaring that Il was gonna be the king. And before, I thought that Yuhon was upset about it. I said it before, I saw Yuhon as this evil person. But then when they started giving us this backstory, especially when it came to how much he loved Yonhee and how much I loved their relationship, I started seeing him another way. And then he killed all those priests, burned them and everything. But it was, even though it's bad, it was to protect Yohan. No, Yonhee. And then, because he did that, they took the kingdom away from him. They gave it to Il. But even with that, he understood why he was not declared the king anymore. Because he knew it was because he burned those priests. And in that particular moment, he didn't know that Junam knew that Yona was going to be the Crimson Dragon King. But clearly, I feel like he knew. Later on during these chapters, Yonhee asked Kashi if the king knew, and if that was part of the reason why they gave Il the kingdom. And she's like, it doesn't really matter if you knew or not. But I don't know where it was, somewhere in these chapters, it was basically confirmed that he knew. So even though they took the kingdom away from him, he did not have any ill will toward his brother. He actually wanted his brother to succeed at becoming a great king. And then he learns that Yonhee was sick. And then in the same token, he learns that Kashi was who she was. And it sort of reignited his hatred towards the Crimson Dragon King because it's because Kashi is a descendant of his that she has this sickness and now that she's dying. And I feel like that's what made him angry, because he felt like everything that's related to the Crimson Dragon King and that religion was taking everything away from him. So he killed Kashi. And now Yonhee has another guilt that she's piling onto herself because she was coming to visit her and then she didn't come and she died on the way. So that's another guilt. She was already feeling guilty about all those priests that died. She was feeling guilty about that. She felt guilty about the rift between Il and Johan. And now with Kashi's death, that's another guilt that's piling on to her. And then she's like, it felt like her whole reason for leaving, because she felt because she was the descendant of the Crimson Dragon King, she had a responsibility to carry on her bloodline, I guess. And she kept thinking, well, they all kept thinking that if the Crimson Dragon King was going to be reborn, it was going to be from their bloodline. But it didn't happen that way. So she's like, okay, so why have I been basically living for all this time? So after learning that Yona was going to be the Crimson Dragon King, now she was now living for Yuhan and so on. And then Yuhan died before her, which left Suwon. Suwon was trying to get her to go outside and move around. I think she wasn't eating, she wasn't taking care of herself. So Suwon was like, okay, let's go out and, move around. So maybe that'll get you to be hungry so you can eat. But then she's like, no, I feel like the world is so scary to her right now. She doesn't feel like getting up. So Suwon's like, okay, so if that's how you feel, I'm just gonna stay here with you. She fell asleep. She woke up and she started walking around, and then she sees Suwon surrounded by all these people, and she's wondering like, what the heck is going on? And Suwon went and examined Yuhan's body and learned that he was killed. He didn't actually trip. When that story came out that Yuhan tripped, fell off a cliff when he went on a long ride or something like that, that didn't sound right to me. So when Suwon told them that yes, his father was killed by a sword through the back, and then Kisuk was like, yeah, I knew that's what happened, because when they were going, Il is the one that suggested them going on a ride, and Yuhan ordered Kisuk to stay behind or something, but he didn't feel right about it, so he followed them. So when they went on the cliff, and Il confronted his brother, and then he stabbed him, and Yuhon was telling Il that is this his beliefs in the gods and them leading this country. Like, in his mind, in Yuhon's mind, Kashi was basically lying to her because he felt like the Crimson Dragon King religion and whatnot, they were using this supposed Crimson Dragon King thing to basically take over the country and rule the country, and he felt like Kashi was lying to him about Yona being the descendant of the Crimson Dragon King, and this is the religion. This religion basically is what made Junam give him the kingdom, and he was trying to get his brother, trying to get Il to forget about that and just to take control of the kingdom and rule the kingdom by himself and not depend on the Crimson Dragon Kings and their priests and all those stuff. That's what he's trying to get Il to see. But then Il is like, you killed Kashi. He didn't actually come out and say that, Kashi is someone that he loves, and he killed her. So in that moment, it wasn't about you're not being the descendant of the Crimson Dragon King or anything like that. It was about you having killed the woman that he loved, and in that moment, he just wanted revenge, and he killed her. I really thought after taking my break that I won't be as emotional anymore when I'm talking about these chapters, but that break did not work out the way I wanted it to work. So he killed him, and he has regretted it ever since. That's why he was against weapons and stuff, because of how he felt when he killed his brother. So when someone confirmed to all the people there that what happened, and they were like, okay, we need to kill Il, and someone is like, not right now, okay, you can kill him right now, and that they were gonna wait. And the fact that he said that the people, they were like, how is he so calm right now and everything, but then when he was walking, I think he saw mom. He's like, okay, well, have you been taking a stroll or something or other like that? And I think he was like, let's take you back to your room or something. And he walked back to the mom, and then the mom saw this look on his face. That felt like a look of hatred or something. And then it was gone. And I think he asked the mom if he heard what was said. And the mom is like, yeah. And he's like, do you want to kill him right now too? The way he said it, and then just him being like, it's not the right time. I'm just going to wait and see if he's going to become a good king. and whatnot. And then the mom asked, so wait, what happens if he doesn't become a good king? And I think he basically said that, he's just waiting to see. I don't quite remember exactly how the conversation went, but the mom could tell that he was just waiting to see if Il was going to be a good king, and if he wasn't, then he was going to kill him. And the mom was like, what about Yona? And he's like, I can't be putting these two things in the same box. That, yeah, he cares about Yona, but Yona is not at the top of his list, and all that. So her, even though she loves Suwon, he's like, I have to warn Il about what Suwon is planning to do. So that's why she wrote these long letter, this memoir that they've been playing out basically on our screen. And he wrote it and he sent it to Il. So that's why Il was not. He kept trying to keep Yona away from him. And he's like, if someone is not gonna put Yona at the top of his list, then I need to find someone who will take care of. He knew that. He knew that he was not gonna be a good king, so he knew that someone was gonna kill him, but he was not gonna defend himself. He was willing to accept it. I believe he said that Kashi also told him that that's what's gonna happen. But at least he wanted someone with Yuna that would put her needs above their own. I just really hate how the brothers ended up. That's what I really hate the most out of this backstory. No, I was scrolling back through the chapter because I feel like there was something in the chapter that sort of hinted at maybe some kind of reconciliation between Suwon and Yuna. I think Yonhee's wish was that there wasn't this rift between Suwon and Yuna or something, and that's what I was trying to go through it and see if I can find that moment. But then the fact that Yonhee had all this guilt, her feeling that she was the reason behind the rift between the brothers, her feeling that it's her fault that those priests died, and everything, and Il's response that it wasn't her fault, that there was already this thing between him and his brother, and the fact that she didn't get to read it, it seems like, and maybe she died before that, so she died with all that guilt. As well as like, I'm tired of crying. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.